Persuasion Company Limited, located in Stuart Castle, Duncan's Trelawney, Jamaica. We broadcast on FM 96.7 locally and is heard worldwide on fitfmja.com. Our mission is to amplify diverse voices and opinions, inform, educate, entertain, and engage listeners of all ages and lifestyle while promoting responsible community development. Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
Are you struggling with loneliness? Feeling depressed? Are you searching for a purpose to live? Are you ready to tap into your inner greatness? Ready to soar to your full potential? Come and be inspired. Join me, Dr. Asha Mwendo, on Healing Moment inside Gospel and Soul every Wednesday, 6 p.m., where we will help you to understand your purpose. We will help you to find your wind. We'll show you how to open your wings and fly. Healing Moments, Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
96.7.
This is Fit FM.
Fit FM 96.7.
96.7.
Duncan's Trelawney.
Good evening, my people. How are you? How is the midweek treating you? DJ Snow, big up to you. You had me rocking all evening, and as usual, so I'm gonna listen out for you tomorrow still, but this evening is my evening. Big up, walk good, my boy. Good to have you on before me. Good space setting. So you know I'm your girl, Dr. Asha Mwendo, and you're listening to me on Healing Moments on Fit FM 96.7. This evening's program is brought to you by Wellness in Motion. If you want to get your wellness on, just give us a link up. We will show you how to transform your life and to live a holistic wellness life. And so therefore, you know, as usual, Healing Moments join the call for elimination of violence against our women and girls. We need it to stop, and we want it to stop now. So I have an exciting evening lined up for you. You don't want to miss it. Remember, we're talking about orgasmic love. And if you want to know what that is all about, you got to join me on my guest, Michelle Card, in a while. But before that, you know how you link me up already on 876-478-9144 or on 876-317-1991. Send us your messages on WhatsApp, your voice notes or your text messages. We want to hear from you. We want you to be a part of the conversation. But you know how it goes already. I'm going to give you a time to tell your friend, get your pen, take a sip, and come right back after this.
Are you ready for the time of your life? It's time to stand up and fight. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. And we'll take a caravan to the motherland. One by one, we're gonna stand with the pride. One that can't be denied. Stand up, stand up, stand up. From the highest mountain and valley low, we'll join together with children of the world can see there's a better way for us to be. The place where mankind was born is so neglected and torn apart. Every moment, every man, join the caravan of love. Everybody take a stand, join the caravan of love.
Welcome back as you join the Caravan of Love this evening. And so, we're doing our Let's Talk session. And I have my friend Natanisha Hines on with me in my Let's Talk. And she's going to tell us about something named Charm and a group named Optimist and something to do with HIV. Natanish, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Doc. Good evening, Doc. How are you?
I am awesome, my girl. I'm in my Aki, as they would say. It's good to have you on with me this evening as usual. So
Thank
now,
you.
tell me what are going on Optimist this evening. Go on, tell me what they go
All right. So this evening, I would want to share with you a little about what's happening with the Optimist International Caribbean District. Well, this evening, I want to talk to you about charm. And you may be saying to yourselves, what is charm? Now,
on.
charm simply means childhood health and response mission.
Oh,
And that's what the acronym CHARM stands for. And this is a program that is aligned with Optimist International Childhood Health and Wellness. So in CHARM, what we do is we arrange projects that will assist with the well-being of our children. And
mhm.
so for CHARM, for this year, our governor is Governor Al, and the theme is working together for optimism, right? And under that, we are going to be looking at several initiatives. For example, in Charm, our emphasis is on disabilities. So we look at physical disabilities, mental disabilities, we look at mental health, we look at chronic diseases, and we also look at healthy lifestyle. Under that, however, we try to break it down into quarters, and our quarter begins from October through to September of the other year. So between October and December, we will be looking at HIV and AIDS. In
Mhm.
our second quarter, we will look at childhood cancer. In our third quarter, we look at autism. And in our fourth quarter, our focus will be on lupus.
Okay.
Right. More about charm or activities as it relates to this quarter where we'll be looking at HIV and AIDS. We have two major projects.
Mhm.
One is a fundraiser where we're raising funds to contribute to those entities that deal with children who are infected, affected, or living with HIV and or AIDS. And
Mhm.
of course, we have what we dub an inter-island webinar where we will see persons right across the Caribbean. And I must say that the Caribbean district spans 6 countries: Antigua, Anguilla, Cayman Island, St. Vincent, Barbados, and of course Jamaica. So our counterparts within all 6 Caribbean countries are going to be coming together in this intra-island webinar where we will have persons who are going to be presented on the religious perspective as we look at end AIDS, end in inequality, and the pandemic. So we're going to be having persons who are going to be presenting on the religious perspective. We're going to be having persons who will be presenting on the regional and global perspective. We will have a community person who is going to come and share ins and out of being infected or affected by HIV. We're going to be having our children or youth as they talk from their perspective. How is it that they see? We'll have persons who are going to be talking about the legal implications of living with HIV and how they ought to be treated. So this
Awesome.
will happen on November 28th. We're inviting everybody to come on out to listen to us, what we're going to be, because the aim of this is to educate and eventually eradicate stigma. So that is all that we are about. So I'll invite persons to come out to our webinar to listen and to participate so you can become more aware of how to treat children and other people who are living or affected by HIV. Now,
Okay.
we just don't do that alone, but we contribute. We like to make tangible contributions. And so we have this called a coin drive that is taking place as we speak across all 6 Caribbean countries. We have started on the 13th of October. And that will run until the 12th of December. The aim of that coin drive is to gather enough monies where we can contribute to entities, as I said before, who are dealing with children or adults who has to deal with children who are infected or affected by HIV.
Awesome, awesome. I promise you some coins. You hear? So make
Thank you
sure you
so much.
remind me to collect it. I have some coins I can give you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So that is Healing Moments contribution to the drive.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. So, Miss Hines, I thank you for coming on, Natanish, to let us know what Optimist is doing. Of course, with all the things you have lined up, I'll be seeing you again and again and again to tell us about these issues because you know that's what Healing Moment stands with. So, thank you for joining
Definitely.
us. Any final words before you go?
Yes, I just want to encourage people, if you are at home and you have a passion for service, a passion for children, please join the nearest Optimist Club that is in your community. You can reach out to us on our platforms. We're at www.optimist.org, where you can get enough information as to the nearest club that you can be a part of.
Awesome. I have one of your friends who told me of this just a couple of days ago. How come you're not optimist? I said I was waiting on an invitation.
Don't worry, Dr. Asha. You will get, as a matter of fact, I'm extending an invitation to you now. And
It's not 18th, you know.
I'm extending an invitation to Julia. Julia, you're invited.
Okay. We will look at the invitation and we will
All
decide
right.
if we take it up jointly. So what good, have a good evening and love you, my girl. Keep
Thank
doing
you.
good in the
Love you too.
neighborhood.
And thanks for having me.
Blessed be. As we continue our Let's Talk feature this evening, I'm reminding you that we have the program we're doing with Dave Gale and his outreach, the CD's judgment, and it's still $1,000. And remember, can reach out to Dave on his all his social media platform is simply Dave Gale. So it's easy to find. Remember, it's for a good cause. It's for the family in Westmoreland of those blind ladies who need a proper home in which to live. It's a good cause to support. So please remember, contact Dave and collect your CD. The songs are so good. You'll be doing good and having fun and enjoying the spiritual motion from that. Then now I want to remind you about a Mifid Tell You going on every Thursday in Runaway Bay, right? And it's a good farmers market. You can get everything you want there: plants, food, entertainment, good cooked food. I really like the fish. That's what I eat, so that's what they do. And I enjoy the way it is done. I can't tell you about the rest, but if the fish are good, imagine the rest, right? So they have a bar going, they have everything going. And of course, your girl will be there doing your wellness check. Come on over and join me over there tomorrow. They open at 6 o'clock. From 6 o'clock, Jennifer is there. So you can go over, get your booth if you want a booth, and just come on and spend some time with us, shop with us, and check me up at my booth to talk about your wellness journey and how you can do well, and also to get your muscadine supplements, right? Okay, and the other thing I want to tell you about in my Let's Talk segment is a number of things that will be happening right here in the parish of Trelawney. So wherever you are, things are happening in Trelawney coming up for this month. The Trelawney Neighborhood Watch having their general meeting on Sunday, this Sunday coming at 6 p.m. on Zoom. So listen, I'm going to tell you the link slowly. The Zoom link is 675-156-8413. If you don't remember, link me up. I will tell you. The passcode is the number one, love, LOVE in capital, and the number 7. So the passcode is one love 7. So join us this Sunday as we talk about our safety and security within our parish. We have some special features. This week, our special feature will be someone from the mental health department in the parish will be coming on to talk to us about how do we treat with mental health issues in our community and our senile family members. How do we treat them? How do we get support? So that's coming up this Sunday. And then on the 23rd, that's Tuesday the 23rd, the Trelawney Library Advocacy Committee and the Trelawney Interagency Network presents Under the Almond Tree, a talk with parents and youth. And this will be taking place on Tuesday the 23rd, as I told you before. And this is at 3 p.m. The Zoom link for this one is 838 4392 3581. The passcode is 869595. So that's it. If you don't remember, just link me up and I will give those to you. And for the neighborhood watch, I must tell you, our keynote speaker will be the ACP Elon. Oh Lord, his name just gone straight out of my head. I will tell you as soon as it comes back to me. Right. So Elon Powell. Oh Lord, forgive me, sir, if you're listening. So Elon Powell, ACP Elon Powell will be our keynote speaker on that. And so this Sunday, so please come out and listen, contribute and talk. Let's hear what Trelawney has to say about safety and security. And wherever you are in the world, safety and security is your responsibility. So come out and join us as well and see how you can contribute to what is happening in your parish. Okay, we have been having a good time so far. I just want to close off by telling you, if you want to get muscadine from me and you're in the Negril area, you go to the Negril Soap Factory and Deborah there will link you up. Or if you're in the Lucy area, you can go to Preservation Health Food Shop 1B, and my friend the Williams family there will link you up. You can't lose. That's on Cap Plaza and Millers Drive in Lucy. And if you don't know where to find them, of course, you link me up on 876-870-2284, and I will give you the 101 on how to do that. So as we get ready to bring my guest on this evening, I want to transition by listening to this music, and then I'll introduce my guest to you.
Drifting on a memory. Ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. Yeah, loving you. Well. Day will make a way for night. All we'll need is candlelight and a song. Yeah, soft and long. Well, glad to be here alone with a lover alive.
Welcome back. It's all about love this evening. Yes. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. My guest this evening is Michelle Card. She's a Jamaican living in Canada, and she's the author of an interesting book. Can I tell you? But before I say anything about the book, I want Michelle to just tell us who she is, where she is, and what on. Good evening, Michelle. How are you? Michelle, unmute your mic.
Hello, Dr. Asha. Thanks for having me on Healing Moments. And thanks for all the listeners tuning in to hear the lovely words of support, encouragement, and whatever it is you feel you might need by tuning in today. So my book is called Orgasmic Organic Love.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, it might, you probably...
Michelle, before you tell us about the book, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh.
Who is Michelle?
So I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, St. Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sister and two brothers. I have three children, two girls, one boy. I migrated to Toronto when I was 11 years old, many moons ago. I
Yeah.
went to Campion College in Jamaica. I went to Hope Valley School in Jamaica. My dad is from Belize. I lived in Belize a while prior. So I was born in Jamaica, went to Belize. That's where my dad is from. Moved back to Jamaica and then came to Toronto when I was 11 years old.
Okay.
Always
Awesome.
been an avid reader. My mom loves to read. My
Mm-hmm.
dad loves to read as well. Just doctors, they're just education, 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 right? So
Yes.
they instilled the love of reading, and I think it just progressed naturally into writing as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Michelle,
Hmm.
you wrote a book with a
I
very interesting topic. So, one, first, I want to tell us what the topic is
Mhm.
and why this topic.
Okay, so orgasmic organic love might mean something different to you than it does to me. So I chose orgasmic because orgasmic gives you a happy feeling. It doesn't necessarily mean it have to be sex. It could be chocolate. Anything that makes you happy. It could be mango, green bananas, ackee, saltfish dumpling, whatever gives you that good feeling.
Yeah.
Organic is healthy. So anything a relationship you want is to be healthy. So that's where
Mhm.
organic comes from. I'm a vegan as well. So anything I do is healthy. I deal with strictly health and
Okay.
love. We all need to be loved at the end of the day. Everyone
Yeah.
wants to be loved.
Oh, yes.
So those three words thrown together was, I think, would reel the readers in, right? It's
Mhm.
very rolls off your tongue easily. Everyone
Mhm.
likes to hear the word orgasmic, especially when it
Oh,
comes
yes.
to relationships,
Mhm.
which is sexual, right? And like I
Yes.
said, it doesn't necessarily mean sex, but
But
that's
you
how it
know,
came about. So
yes.
I started off by wanting to do fiction urban love novels. And I met my publisher, and he said, you should really write to help people. Yes,
Mhm.
fiction is your imagination and it might help people, but there's a lot of men and women out there struggling within relationships, and you have a knack, a
Mhm.
talent for it. So I took his advice, and that's how I came up with writing
Yes,
this
and I see you
all
have
into book.
here, you have here dispelling women's misconceptions about perfect relationships. So we're going to delve into it in a little bit to
Mhm.
hear what are the misconceptions. So Michelle, just give us a quick rundown of what are the topics, what are your headlines in the book, your
Oh,
topic
so
lines.
I wrote 12 chapters to do with relationships and emotions. And
Mm-hmm.
forgive me, I'm on my second book. So I'm just going to read the chapter headings so I don't get it confused with my second book. So,
Okay.
chapter one is You're Too Ugly to Be My Girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter two, I Hate That Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter three, I'm Too Good for Your Ass. Chapter
Mm-hmm.
four, What the Hell Was I Thinking?
Mm-hmm.
I think we think this all the time. It doesn't matter if you're 14 or if you're 70. You're like, what the
Yeah.
hell was I thinking when you think back in life and saying, how.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter five, The Power of Good Dick.
Oh yeah.
That is like, depending on what age you are,
We're gonna
maybe
get there.
until 50, that's still like maybe number two, if not number one for you, right? And I mean, it can be for men the other way around. The power of a good
Yes. Yeah.
vagina.
Yoni. Yeah.
Exactly. So, chapter six, support your sisters. I
Mhm.
honestly, like what you're doing with me, supporting me. I
Yeah.
honestly believe in supporting each other, men and females as well. But there's a saying: when you support a woman, you support a village. You educate a woman, you educate the village.
Yeah.
That's the saying.
Mm-hmm.
Number seven: even supermodels get cheated on.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote that. I came up with that title specifically because a lot of females, when they get cheated on, they play this victim role. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? What did I do? Why wasn't I good enough? What? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And you get
Mm-hmm.
depressed, and you're like heartbroken, and But if Halle Berry, if Beyonce, if all these people who bring so much to the table can get cheated on, then why not you?
Okay.
Don't feel bad about it, right?
Mm.
So cheating is not necessarily about you per se, it's about the other person.
It's
And you
true.
have control over them and what they do. You cannot stop someone from cheating. Only they themselves can stop themselves from cheating. Doesn't matter what you do. You could be the best cook, the best clean, you could be the sexiest person, the richest person. It doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't matter.
Exactly. Number 8, not going to end up like my mother. Number 9, must have list that ensures I never get married.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have very high expectations of what they want from a male counterpart before they get married. And they have nothing to offer.
Nothing.
Exactly. And the list can be so ridiculous. He has to have blue eyes, or he has to have $1 million, or he has to be a doctor, he has to be a lawyer. And
Tall,
what
dark, and handsome.
exactly, or endowed as well. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. And then you pass all these great guys just because they don't fit your list, right? So that's why it ensures that you never get married, because the list that you have is not realistic
True.
and you're going to stay single.
Mhm.
Number 10. So you think you're the only one. And so you think you're the only one. It's not necessarily mean like you're getting cheated on by with someone else. It could mean your mom is in the relationship, your partner's friends are in the relationship. Everybody has a hand in the relationship, or there could be sex toys in the relationship. Just, you know.
Yep.
Number 11, daddy's little girl. And number 12, the one I think is the most important in this book is happy wife, happy life.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Michelle, you're not gonna get away by just giving us these top lines. And we're gonna move on. We're gonna have conversation about what some of these mean. I'm telling you, my interest is peaked about some of them, but I'm gonna behave myself. I'm gonna hold on and I'll calm down. I'm gonna
Fire
do the
away. Come on,
little
Dr. Asha. Make it
quietly.
spicy, make it exciting. Ask whatever it is you want. Nope, hold on. Nope. We only have how long? Life is short.
I'm
Say
telling
whatever
you,
you want.
girl.
Yeah.
So I am not going to start at the beginning. I'm going to go way down to the bottom and start at happy wife, happy life. Tell us
Okay.
about that, because you say it's a bonus for men. So let's give the men a little treat before we go through. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Okay. So men are always, I wouldn't say complaining. They
Mm-hmm.
have a hard time in understanding what a woman needs or want or how to make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, we don't even know what makes us happy sometimes. What makes us happy right now, tomorrow
It's true.
or an hour from now would be a different
Quite
situation,
true.
right? And we're not all from the same cookie cutter. Every female is different, every woman
True.
is different. But
True.
at the end of the day, there's basic necessities that makes us all happy. Like I said, we all want to feel loved and special and needed, right?
Yep, we do.
So once a man, and we're not talking about egos. I'm not saying that a man has a woman like cave in, given to everything that she wants or she desires. You still have to be the man, still be, in control and still.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is I'll give an example of Denzel Washington. He's been married, I believe, for over 30 something years.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington is like an A-lister movie star. And he was on a talk show. I believe it was at that time it was Arsenio Hall. I'm dating myself how old I am, but anyways. So he said, Arsenio Hall said, what is the magic in your relationship? How is it that we don't hear anything negative about you and your wife, like you're getting divorced or any relationships or anything, like you're pretty stable. And
Right.
that's really unheard of in Hollywood, right? So he says, at the end of the day, my wife is the boss.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how much money I bring in. It doesn't matter that I'm an A-list movie star. I know that my wife is looking out for my best interest. She's my backbone and she's my support.
Mm-hmm.
So if she says, go take out the garbage, I will humble myself and I will take out the garbage. I'm not too big to take out the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what it is really is women too, we have a tendency to nag or argue or want to have the last word per se, right? In
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I'm not saying some of it's not justified, because sometimes we do know a little bit more of whatever it is that we want when it comes to family and, you know, your children and how things should be run. If she has a head on her shoulders and she's pretty stable, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the trick to that now for the man is to bide his time and let his wife think she's right, right? Let her
Mm-hmm.
think she's right all the time, or choose your battle. Choose the argument that you want to argue about. Is it worth it at the end of the day for me to go to bed and not get anything, or I have to sleep on the couch, or I have to, you know what I mean? Pick the
Okay.
battles of what it is. And she's always right. Just think she's always right. In your head, you know she's not. And when you cross that line where you're saying, no, I have to really speak up on this, then you do.
Awesome. Yes. So that is true. As long as a man knows how to communicate with his wife, you will never understand her. I'm gonna
Exactly.
say it, you will never understand us. We don't
Yes.
understand you either. Don't worry about it. But you're just a little
Well,
bit
not
easier to
simply about that.
decipher. You're just a little bit easier to decipher than we are.
Yes.
And so, as long as a man knows how to buy this time, and a friend of mine always said there are two people in my relationship. One is always right, and I'm the other one. So you know who is always right in his relationship.
Yes,
And
definitely.
from he knows that he is in for a good treat, right?
Exactly.
So I am going to jump and see which other topic I want to hear a little bit about. And listeners, if you're listening and you want to hear something specific, just jump in, just let us know. Right, just let us know. I'm going to go right back up to the top of the book and I'm going to remind of the topics again. I know what my interests are. I ain't telling you guys yet. I want to hear about some things. But I am going to remind you of the topics she shared with us. And then you can tell us if there's one you think you want to hear about more than the other, right? So she gave us topics like, I'm jumping over it now. Yeah, let me settle down. Too excited here. She says, you are too ugly to be my girlfriend. She said, I hate that girl. I am too good for your ass. What the hell was I thinking? I know a lot of people ask the question every day about stuff. The power of good dick. And I say that with respect. And support your sister is very important. Even supermodels get cheated on, not going to end up like my mom, and must have lists that ensures I never get married. And I want us to dwell on that one, number 9, a little bit because it is a very important topic. I have been watching a lot of Christmas movies these days when I'm home doing my work, or I don't know if I'm watching the Christmas movies. I'm listening to the Christmas movies. I'm doing what I'm doing. And a lot of them, the theme is love. And I remember one of them, this young lady, she had a list of the things she ticked off on a good man. And so she found a man that matches most of what she ticked off on, but they were both as miserable as anything. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's tell us a little bit about the must have list and the danger it creates for relationships.
Okay. So I think it started off very early
Mm-hmm.
with the nursery rhymes and not even, not just the nursery rhymes, the fairy tales as well, like the Snow
Mm-hmm.
White and, you know, your prince on
Mm-hmm.
white horse, the shining armor. All this is there, you know, the house, the picket fence, the cat, the dog,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
must be rich. You stay at home and not work. You just look after your children. You know, that's what I mean. This generation coming up now is different, but that's what our generation was raised on. Really, that the man is the provider, and we basically just stayed home and took care of the children. If
Yep.
you were lucky enough to be in that position, there's a
Yes.
lot of people that were in single parent homes as well that weren't afforded the luxury to stay at home to look after their children. So the must have list is just anything that you deem necessary for you to be happy which doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make you happy, but in your mind, you think it's going to be happy. So, for example, I had a friend, and she only wanted light skinned guys with blue or green eyes.
Oh.
And a very dark complexion. So I know opposites attract, right? Normally, if you're light, you like dark, and if you're dark, you like light. But unfortunately, you're not going to find a lot of light skinned, blue or green eyed males. And if you do, it doesn't necessarily mean that they want you, right?
Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that even if you get them, it's going to be a perfect match. So you just have to be realistic with your list, because if it's unrealistic, you're going to end up single and lonely.
Yes.
Children, right? So if you are not educated, but you want a doctor or you want a lawyer, where's the compatibility that a doctor is going to go with somebody who's uneducated, really? If you have a great personality and you look good, but chances are very slim, right?
Yes.
So you definitely have to make sure that the list that you're making is realistic and it holds up in the test of time. So say you are 20, 10 years from now, that should still be something on your list that works for you, right? So we're not looking for superficial things when we're making a list. We're looking for a list that's, is he going to be a good father or a good mother to our children, right?
Okay. Awesome. And this is so right. You know, it's very important that when you're creating your ideal for a good relationship, it's really realistic. And then make sure you have the backup for the other end of the story. Because if you are going into a relationship and you want a doctor and you can't read, I don't say it can't happen, but it is very far-fetched and unlikely to happen. And you might need a fairy godmother like Cinderella
Definitely.
to make that happen.
Definitely.
But guess what? No, some things that I was saving for later on, you know. I get in questions. So the
Okay.
first question I have here that I want us, we're gonna talk about it. We're not, it's the elephant in the room. We gotta talk about it because a few men are asking. So let's answer the men now. They want to know. They don't want to know. They want to know what is a bad dick. And you know, they just said an observation here. Somebody was saying, notice that your list don't include chemistry when you are writing the book. There's nothing there on chemistry. So we'll see if that will come up in one of the topics. But for right now, child, some gentlemen want to know what is a bad dick.
So
And it's not the women asking, you know, it's the man.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's how people learn.
Well,
right?
it's true. We're not sure if it's a man or a woman. Some of them we're not sure. We're not sure. Yeah.
No, that's how you learn, by asking
Yes.
questions, right?
Yes.
And what might be good for me might not work for you.
Yes.
So some people might like a sizable and some might like a small one. Because I have girlfriends that like small ones and we have ones that like bigger ones. And sometimes even if you do have an endowed penis and you don't know how to work it, it makes no sense. So that might be considered a bad dick, right?
Yes.
Or if you have a small dick, but you know how to work it, that's a good dick. So it's up to the individual who you're having intercourse with that can tell you if it's good. Because I'm sure I've been with men, or men have been with me and say, oh, maybe whatever, she's not good, but someone else will say she's good. Or might say, oh, he's really good. And then someone else might say, no, he sucks. He's not really good. Right? But most of the times it's the motion.
It's the motion of the ocean and not the size of the ship that makes
the rhythm. Right?
You know, so that is my talk. It's always the motion of the ocean and not the size of the ship that makes
the rhythm. Definitely.
So it gotta be, but I want to read something from the book. It says here, every woman at one point of her life had unrealistic views of what a perfect relationship consists of. The most common attributes a woman might have looked for was a male who has well endowed and knew how to perform. And that is so true. I remember for a phase that we were going through as some of my girlfriends, and we had this thing about the three B's. So when a man, or in our case, it used to be boys, when the boys called to us, we would look at three things. So we look at their buffet, which is their mouth. So that's what we call their buffet. So that's the first B. Then we look at the second B, the buff, the endowment. We look at that. So we look at him and see if we see anything print out or if too much print out. And then we look at his food. Because we would say men's shoes are expensive, and if the man can't buy himself a pair of shoes, it don't really make no sense. That is what we, as when we were teenagers, that was our theory. That's what we were coming off. But you know, as you grow older, you learn a thing or two. And I went to an all-girls school, so you have to sit with me as well, you know. But we know that sex is important in relationships. And we know, as I remember once, I had this conversation this week here, you know. I had this conversation very recently. I just hear it in my head. That I had this conversation. I was talking about a tickler. Because we were talking about, this lady was talking about this gentleman. Oh, him run her down, him look her hard. And then all him end up with is a little tickler, a big finger-sized tickler. And she's not in no laughing mood. So that now work out. So that was her concern. And then now another lady was saying, but she did have one. It was so big that him couldn't do anything much with it. Because when it go in, if him do anything, no space for him do it just too big. So you have the persons who have extremes, but then you have some now, whether it's big finger or they know how to use it. And as you said, that is what is really important. What you do with what you have is what matters. And I'm telling you, this topic is hot. So one person is one Mr. Miles out of Kingston. Thank you for linking up on Healing Moments. He says, I thought good ears and slow hands make a good lover. I like that. So he says a good ear and a slow hand make a good lover. And we were having a conversation recently with a gentleman who says he likes to come first in everything. And I was saying to him, well, if you are in a relationship and you like to come first, you either plan to get bun, or when you come first, you plan to have enough strength to face up, hand up, or something to ensure that the woman gets her own orgasm too. Because you come first and leave her a pass, and she's going to come second, but what kind of coming is she going to have? Right? So this is important. It's really, really important. The power of a good dick is important because in a relationship, sex is important. But the good thing about it, sometimes it's not the size that matters. It's what you do with the size you have.
Exactly.
And how you package it with everything you say God bless you with.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't suggesting anything to anybody, but remember now, if you're having challenges in the bedroom, it's both parties' fault. So both of you have to learn to become creative, to use all the gifts that God has given you, hands and feet. I am saying nothing more on that. For
so,
now.
Dr. Asha, you really think it's both parties' fault if one person is not up to the challenge, whether it's the male or the female?
If you have the relationship and persons are not being satisfied and the relationship continues, it's both persons' fault.
Okay, so I'll give you an example where my friend, both male and female, got married as virgins.
Mm-hmm.
Both had absolutely no idea what to expect in the bedroom sexually. But my girlfriend knew there was more to what she was getting. And she was very miserable, very upset. And I mean, I can't blame her and I can't blame him because no one taught him what to do, or you know what I mean? It's his first time even having sex was with that person. So she went out on the relationship and experienced what good sex was.
Okay,
right?
So let's pause for a moment. I'm going to play a little song of what she did. Just a little song to tell you what was happening there.
No problem.
I have lined up for this one.
love to me. Yeah. You, my heart's desire. Your lips caress me, your body possess me. Now I keep you in. I could if time would stand still and leave us feel this way. You know what? I'll be satisfied being here with you. You set my mind on fire anytime you're near. My body and soul belong to you. Oh, don't ever say we're through. There's still love on the side. Still love on the side. You don't belong to me. I don't belong to you. Still we're together. If that's enough for you, it's enough for me.
Oh, yes. So now she stepped out on the relationship. Can I tell you, did she have a conversation with the man first? Did they
Yes, she
problem?
did. Yes, she did. Yes,
And
she
they
did.
decided to get help together?
He was unwilling to get help.
Oh, there
He was
lies the
unwilling to
problem
get
now.
help.
Man and
Remember,
his
it's an ego
ego.
thing with them, right?
Yes, a
It's
man
very
and
hard
his
for men to
ego.
accept that he's not pleasing his woman and to go into therapy to receive help.
Yeah, yeah. That can become a challenge. I don't
Definitely.
encourage cheating, but
No.
I can understand that
Mhm.
unfulfilled sexual
Mhm.
desires will lead to women or men cheating. And you know what I like about this story this time? It's a
Mhm.
woman that stepped out. We always saying the man them stepping out, the man them stepping out, which they do a lot. And
Yeah.
most times when men step out on their partners, it has nothing to do with being satisfied with sex.
Yes.
It's okay. And one of my listeners is saying, ego, get born.
And you know what, Dr. Asha?
Yes.
It was a Jamaican that she went to. So, that was it for
It
her.
done. Poor thing, it
That
done.
was, yeah.
Poor
Yeah.
thing.
That,
After a Jamaican,
yes.
guys,
Yes.
you've
It was
waited
hard
too
to,
long.
yes. But I mean, they're still together. He did eventually, because he found out about the relationship and he did decide that he wanted it to work, and he did go and he got help. And she did
Awesome.
say it did work for her. He's a lot better than what he was
And then
before.
guess what
Right?
happened? She learned a thing or two to teach him as well.
Well,
And
you know what happened? He moved. They both moved from the country, from Canada to the States.
right,
He
so
would
they
not.
had a clean
Yeah, he couldn't
slate
trust her being here around the person. Like it was just.
anymore. Oh dear, oh dear. But it's good that they work it out. And I want to say
Yes,
to
definitely.
listeners, if you are listening this evening and
Mhm.
you are having problems in your relationship where fulfilling sexual desires are concerned, you
Mhm.
do not have to step out on your partner.
Definitely
Get
not. Mhm.
help. There are a lot of sex therapists around. There are some right here in Jamaica. You can call me. I will ensure that you don't have to use no chicken to pick the butt for you to know how to move. We will teach you
Yeah.
how to satisfy each other, because it's just that you have to come to an agreement that we have a problem. And in their
Mhm.
case, they were both virgins. And
Mhm.
maybe they were virgins who did not learn how to talk with others. My producer
Mhm.
is deading in here because we're getting some crazy comments. She's deading. Right. So,
Definitely.
it is crazy in that when we're in relationships, and that is why this topic is really good, the power of a good dick. Because in relation, and also the power of a good yoni as well.
Yes.
Because when it is being used the right way in a relationship, it can keep cement. It is not that alone will not keep the relationship, but if everything else is going on, that is working out. I have heard men say that for more than once they want to step out on their woman, but when they remember what they're getting, they can't afford to lose it because they don't want nobody else to get that.
Mhm.
And women have said it too. A lot of people say bad relationship for a good sex.
Definitely.
It is true. So the power of a good dick or a good yoni on the other end is really important, knowing what you have and knowing how to use what you have. So if you're listening to us this evening, you're talking about organic, orgasmic love, having the right dick, yoni, and knowing how to use it makes a world of a difference. Girl, I love this conversation.
And
I'm really
sometimes,
happy.
if you know how to use it too well, it causes problems. Some people have killed in crimes
Yes,
of
for it.
passion for
It's
that as
true.
well,
It's
right?
true.
So
It's true.
it's very lethal too, right?
Yes, having the good thing and not being
Mhm.
faithful or not being trusting can create problems as well.
Definitely.
So
You get
that is why the
stalkers.
other, right, that's why the other areas of the relationship must be worked on in
Definitely.
order for it to work, right? And I know
Definitely.
we're coming back to the good dick part on another way, but we're going to look at some other things. People, come on. There are other things in the book. The book is a good book. I have read it. It's a good book,
Dr.
right?
Ashley, can I just clarify something for you? Said a listener had said that when it came to the must have list that I didn't talk about chemistry. And I do. I probably didn't mention it while I was talking to you, but on page 58, I said the two
Mm-hmm.
key components that bring forth a healthy relationship is learning to compromise and be compatible. Being compatible with the person you love combined with the willingness to compromise with each other is more of a home run than your short or long list, right?
Yes.
So there's many aspects of what on you that should be on your list that's important.
Yes, it's really, really true. It's really, really true.
Mhm,
And I have read the book. So just now, before we go into any more of the book, I want to
mhm.
have a pause, remind persons of the name of the book, and tell people how they can get their own copy if they want to sit down, read this, and laugh by themselves or fix up themselves.
So it's on Amazon. It's called Orgasmic Organic Love. I believe it's $25. It's not expensive at all. I made it very cheap because I want people to be able to afford it because you really do. And I'm a relationship coach, so you can learn from it, right? So any
Mm-hmm.
questions, I and it's a really easy short book to read, and I
Yes, it
covered
is.
the most important things that most of us ask all the time or are interested in. I am working on the sequel to it as well, but
Okay.
right now Amazon, and it's approximately it's $25.
Okay, so you hear that, listeners? It's on Amazon. It's the Organic Orgasmic Love, and it's only $25 to be
Mhm.
able to know how to work on your relationship. Very, very awesome. So the next topic we want to look at is Daddy's Little Girl. What does Daddy's Little Girl have to do with love?
Okay, so most females, if you have a hands-on dad, a healthy relationship with the dad will produce a healthy female.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, will produce a healthy relationship. So, meaning, say you grew up in a household without a dad, you don't really know how to communicate with a man
Mm-hmm.
because you haven't seen how a female, the dynamics of a male and female relationship growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll say maybe 90% of the times when you do have a healthy relationship with your dad and your mom, you're
Yes.
going to grow up healthy and you're going to choose wisely. You're going to choose someone who's like your dad, who's a provider, who's stable, not an abuser, dotes on you. And it can also go the other way too,
Yeah, the
where
flip side.
because your dad is so much that another male might not be able to live up to the expectations or they can't match what your dad has. And
Or it could be
it's
that you
not
have a bad dad as well and you judge other men by,
yeah, definitely 100%. One,
yep.
and that goes both ways as well. So
Mhm.
even if you have a dad that's not around or who's not healthy, you might go to the extreme where you choose someone that's not like your dad who's
Mm-hmm.
healthy, and then sometimes you choose someone
Right.
not consciously knowing, but you choose a partner that's just like your dad without seeking that one out.
It's true. And I know
Mhm.
that there are some girls who grow up with not such a good dad who, looking for a positive, will choose the opposite of the bad father that they have
Mhm.
because they have a vision of what the good person should be. But it
Mhm.
is really true. It's something that I always say, when a girl have a father who
Mhm.
affirms her, sets her on a right path, teach her what healthy love is like, the
Mhm.
man that gets that woman gets a good wife.
Definitely.
When a man is at a position where he let his daughter know how awesome she is, when she walks on the street, no any fly by night can get her head
Exactly.
turned because she knows she's awesome. She knows she's all of that and a slice of cheese. And so
Exactly.
fathers should be able to be good guidance, good support for their girls. And I do have a problem as we're talking about daddy's little girl.
Mhm.
We have some men who their daughter is their little girl, and if fly ever dare pitch on her, the fly is in trouble. But they
Mhm.
go around and mess up other men's little girls.
Definitely. Definitely.
And so we're talking on both sides of the coin this evening. If
Mhm.
your little girl is special, remember the next man's little girl is special. If you are a father and you would not want a man to have a relationship with your 16-year-old daughter, why are you doing it with somebody else's picnic? So these are some of the things we want to bring to your fore. Daddy's little girl is important, and the other man's little girl is important just as well. So how you do it, what you do, makes a whole lot of difference. But a girl with a good daddy is a powerful woman,
High
and
self-esteem. Can't mess with her.
she's high self-esteem.
Mhm.
She know who she is. She know her
Mhm.
worth. She know her worth, and she know that she have no price. She's priceless. She knows she's one of those gems that you can't pay for. So to earn her love, you gotta come good. You gotta come right. And if you don't treat her good, she knows she can't go back home to daddy. So you got to do right by her. And women who grow up with that kind of a relationship help to create better relationships and have healthier children.
Mhm.
So you see the link up, guys? Everything links with each other. But then again, no, you have here daddy's little girl, but then you have not going to end up like my mother. Let's talk about that.
So let me just cap off daddy's little girl for a second.
Okay.
So what I always say to men, like, look at yourself, take a good look at yourself. How
Yes.
do you treat your wife, or how do you treat your girlfriend? Are you satisfied? Are you happy with the way you treat? Then, because exactly how you want your daughter to be treated is how you should be treating your wife or your girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's just my little advice to men.
Yep.
If you want your children to be treated with respect, then you have to treat people with respect as well,
I
because
normally say, careful how you watch people girl picnic,
hmm
because remember you have your girl picnic too.
and
Mhm.
it's by actions as well. You might not be saying anything, but they grow up looking at your actions,
Yep.
right? Definitely.
Yep.
So, it's the same flip as not want to be like my mother, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with each generation, it has its good and it has its bad, right?
Yep.
And it depends on the individual what it is that they want from life. So maybe back in the past, where the mom was a stay-at-home mom and she didn't go out and work, she didn't have a life, she was dependent on the male, her husband, in the house, didn't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the male was the head of the household. So the daughter or the son growing up might not like that role for their mom. They wanted their mom to have a voice, a say in how things were done or how things were run, right? So they might
Mm-hmm.
look and say, I don't want to end up like my mom because I want a relationship where we're equal. Some people might have a problem with saying, well, we can't be equal, but you want to
Mm-hmm.
have a voice. You want to be made to feel special. You want to, know
Yep.
that whatever you say is valuable and you're making a contribution, right? So
And
that's
it is true. And as you're thinking about it, now I'm thinking about my circumstance. I'm in a circumstances now in that I have been asked to lead an organization recently, interim president, and I'm interim president for an organization that is 34 years old.
Mhm.
And I am the first female president, even though it's interim.
Mhm.
And I have had persons call me to
Mhm.
let me know that I should walk away because this auspicious organization should never be led by a woman
Mhm.
in 2021.
Mhm.
And to be honest, come next year, they're going to have elections and they're going to seek leaders. And I had not decided to be a part of the process. But just because you're going to tell me I can't, I'm going to
Exactly.
put my hat in the ring and I'm going to show you that I can.
Mhm.
Because if in 2021 a man grows up, he's a son of a woman, so he
Mhm.
had a mother at some time, even if she's not with us now. He had a mother, and he should have learned to respect women and
Mhm.
understand the power of a woman
Mhm.
and know that in this society we may never be equal as biologically, because
Mhm.
we're different, we're more different, we're made different. But the platforms that are being created is equal ground and equitable ground for men and women to move forward in social spheres. And when a man is going to call me and tell me I should gracefully bow out, even though everybody had selected me, I should gracefully bow out because I'm a woman, and this organization should never be led by a woman. And I took offense
And
because
rightly so. Rightly
because
so,
I
Denise.
am my mother's daughter. And why some women may never want to be like their mother. My mother was not perfect, but I
Mhm.
could never see anybody telling my mother she don't belong in any room because she gonna let them knock us up. Right? And so I am my mother's daughter in that. So there are a lot of things about my mother that I want to have.
Definitely.
So unlike some girls who don't want to be anything at all like their mother, there are traits that my mom have that I'm going to work on to make sure that I don't have it because my mom wasn't perfect, and I'm going to try to be a little better and hope the next generation will be a little better because that's how we cure generational issues is by improving on ourselves and each generation improve on themselves, and we cure generational issues. So there are issues that I will work on not to be exactly like my mom, but in this case, I am my mother's daughter. And I want to be like my mother, in that my mother was a strong woman. She knew who she was, what she wants. There are some times when she wasn't so sure, but she got it right when it was important. She got it right. In the end, she knew who she was before she went to sleep. And so we used to say our mom was a ride or die mom. She's right there up with you. And guess what? If my mother tell we say, for a big finger sing, she tell we she our mother. But if you ever dare tell we that, you
Mhm.
have to deal with we mother.
Mhm.
Because we are fear big finger, oh, she wasn't supposed to tell us those things. And so it depends on how the even stay-at-home moms. I have known stay-at-home moms who are strong. The children see them as important. I remember one man wanted to marry me once, and he was an awesome man, and he have got a little bit of money. And you talk about chemistry and knowing who you are and what you want going into relationships. This man see me coming out of college and offer me to come marry to him and become a stay-at-home wife because his wife shouldn't work. She should be keeping parties and entertain and stuff like that and do charitable work. I have no problem with charitable work. I'm doing a whole bunch of it now, but I'm doing it on my terms,
Mhm.
not a man say so terms. And so when you grow up as girls and we grow up, and so we have some women now who want to be the opposite of who their mother are and go to the very extreme until they're not suitable for anybody's wife. And then you have some who stay in the middle ground and some who end up being abused and staying in it because they think that's what it's supposed to be. So that is an important thing again. Each mother need know who is listening to us this evening, and you have young daughters. You are going to ensure that you become, if today you are not, you're going to work on getting help to become a mother that your child, your daughter, and your sons can be proud of. That is very important. Yes, and I know you have more to say on the topic. So before you answer the close off on the topic, then we move on to another one. I am telling
Hold
you.
on, hold on. So let me just wrap that one up because I'm always going to wrap The
Yeah,
chapters
that's
that
it. Wrap
are
that one
your
up. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that chapter was not written in a negative light. It's written
Mm-hmm.
for you to be aware of what it is. Look at your surroundings and your upbringing. See what it is that you can, like you said, be better at, and what it is that what you didn't want for yourself. You're not going to pass that down to your
Mm-hmm.
children as well, right? So if your mom was one that was very promiscuous and you didn't like that, you're going to learn, I don't want to be that type of mother, right?
Yes.
So most of the chapters I have, they're not, it's an eye opener. It's for you to stop and think about things. It's not me writing in a negative light, right? These is just a reality. It's realistic. These are things that happen in the home. These are relationships that you need to observe and look at. And if you can do better, you do better, right? So
Yes.
100%. Moms have a lot of good qualities. It doesn't matter if you're poor, rich, where you're from, if you're educated, not educated. A real, true mom, like you said, they ride for their children, no matter what.
Okay.
And no one can
So
scold them,
just
no one can talk to them.
yeah, just before we move on from that
Mhm.
topic, a question just came in that I want us
Mhm.
to look at. I'm getting a number of questions. I'm not going to deal with all of them, but this one I want us to look at a little quickly.
Yeah,
Someone is asking, can a mother and daughter be sexually competitive?
never. Should never, ever,
It should
ever.
never be, but it do happens.
Oh, definitely. But you're
It do
not
happen.
setting a good example for your daughter, right?
No.
You're a mother for a reason, and she's your daughter for a reason as well,
Yeah, it
right?
is true. I remember as a teenager, we were having a crusade in Mandeville. That's my hometown. We're having a crusade, and one night outside of the crusade, a mother and daughter was fighting over the same man
Hmm.
because apparently it's the daughter's man and the mother is with the man, and then the man and the mother came to the crusade, and the daughter found out where they were, and she was not having any of it, and
Hmm.
they had a big throwdown outside of the crusade. I'll never forget. A long, many years ago. I was a
Hmm.
teenager then, so for you know, from me say a teenager, it's a good little while. It's not so long, but it's a good little while. I'm lying, it's a long time. Yes, but it should never happen. A
Never at
mother
all.
and daughter should never be competing over the same
No.
gentleman. It should never
Especially
happen.
fighting over the same man. That's just
It's just so
walk away from that
unethical.
situation. Yeah,
It's a
that's not a
tarnish.
winning situation at all.
It's a tarnish, a mudding a water of relationship that is hard to come back from. So it should never happen. Okay, so somebody now wants me to go. They said, I don't want the time to run out. I
Mhm.
don't touch what the hell was I thinking. So I am trying to satisfy, I can't satisfy all my listeners this evening, but we're going to do a few.
Okay,
So
so
what were
that
you thinking when you talk about what the hell was I thinking?
just things that you situations that you got yourself into that you thought was love, and you
Mm-hmm.
should never really put yourself in there, right? Maybe you met a married man and you knew
Mm-hmm.
at the time, or maybe you didn't know, and you hung in there for 2 3 years thinking, believing everything that this man said. I'm going to leave my wife, I'm going to marry you.
Mm-hmm.
And you lasted, like, these are relationships that like I had friends 8 years with a married man and he never left, right? And
Yeah.
she had to seek therapy and counseling, never had any children because she's
Mm.
waiting for this one man, right?
Yes.
So just different things that
Mm-hmm.
sex is really good and you thought you loved this man even though he treated you really bad, but because the sex was good you stayed there. Just
It's true. It's
anything
true.
that you normally would not put up with or go through, and then when you look back at it you're like, what the hell was I thinking? Or you
Yeah.
married somebody at 16, got
Mm-hmm.
abused. Just any situation you put yourself into, and with a matured eye, a learned eye, when you're older and you look back and you're like,
Yes.
what was I thinking at that time? Right?
Yeah, and I've had clients come to me who trying to emotionally heal when they're no longer with this man or this woman.
Yeah.
But when they look back at them now, and it's a part of, especially if they have that child with this person, and
Mhm.
who they have become, and who this person is, because I think I was caught up in something like that,
Mhm.
because my mom had me at 16.
Mhm.
And my dad, when they got together, he was not a Rastaman, but he became one when we
Mhm.
were little tiny tots.
Mhm.
And then in those days, it wasn't popular for anybody to be a Rastaman either. Rastamen
Mhm.
were beaten, they were misunderstood. And I remember my mom later on when she admitted to it, but my dad told us first that the relationship became strained, not because they were having problems together, but people
Mhm.
were saying to her that this Rastaman going to sacrifice one of the children, that she had two
Mhm.
kids, and he's going to sacrifice one of the them and all of these. So it became strained. Pressure from her mom and her
Mhm.
stepfather at the time. Eventually, the relationship ended.
Mhm.
But the part of it now is that when my mom grew out of that circumstances, she found herself, went to college, she became the cream of the crop girl. She married a
Okay.
nice man that come back from England, and
Mhm.
she is in the society, the cream of the crop in Mandeville. She is living a good life. And this Rasta man that she have kids with, she couldn't have him coming around.
Mhm.
So now she was ashamed of her past.
Mhm.
And she was asking herself, what the hell was I thinking when I got together with this man? And so, therefore, she killed him in her mind and in our mind because we were told that he was dead.
Okay.
He wasn't really dead. We found him many years later on when we became adults, got married, and after that, I
Mhm.
told my dad. So,
Mhm.
in a case, I can understand in her situation why she would say, what the hell was I thinking? And then the result of
Exactly.
it.
Mhm.
And so I want to say to parents now, mother or father, man or woman, if you're already a parent, when the moment of what the hell was I thinking hits you, you got to deal with it because it's not the children's fault. And
Mhm.
they have a right to both parents.
Definitely.
They have a right to both parents, even if it is your mistake. So
Mhm.
your mistake is your child's dad, or your mistake is your child's mom. Deal with it. Get
Mhm.
help. Heal yourself, you broken soul, and do not injure the soul of your children. When you
Yeah.
get to what the hell was I thinking moment, go fix yourself and keep your children whole and well. If you have already made the mistake and broken the kids, deal with it. And you know something? When you have what the hell I was thinking moment and you have grown children, you can be honest with them and have a conversation. The children will see you as human, and most times they will be happy that mommy and daddy trust us to have this conversation with us. And you will also help them not to reach 10 years down the road and say the same statement, what the hell was I thinking?
Mhm.
That
What the hell?
conversation is good.
Sorry. What the hell was I thinking is also growth as well, too, right? So if you can look
Mm,
back at your life 5 years from now and say, "Oh my gosh, what was I thinking then?" I'm more mature now and I see things how it
mhm,
should be and not how it
mhm.
was then, right? It's just these are just teachable moments,
Yes.
right? That's all it is. I always say, don't regret anything in life. You learn from them. It
Use them as
builds
a learning,
character.
yeah.
It's who you are,
Yep.
right? And you can't change your past. So it makes no sense to regret it, right? You just move on and you deal with it.
Right.
Mhm.
So so we want to move on to I hate that girl. I'm dealing with
Okay.
the topics that my listeners are sending me little messages on my phone.
Uh huh.
Why do I hate that girl? Is it that I hate the girl in the mirror or I hate the girl on the other side of the desk?
It covers everything with I hate that girl, based on how you're raised, what you want, but you couldn't have. But
Mm,
if you're talking about it from a relationship
mm-hmm,
perspective, it could be there's a guy you want or a woman you want, but they're
mm-hmm,
taken.
mm-hmm,
So you hate that person that they're with.
mm-hmm.
And it does happen because
Yes, it
I've,
does.
yes, there's like you're hated on for no reason. You don't know who this person is, but that person just hates you. And they hate you because of not who you are. It's your life that you have that they want, or
Mm-hmm.
what they deem is supposed to be the life that they should have.
Yep.
Right. So hating someone doesn't necessarily mean that that person did anything for you to hate them. It could
Not the
be
truth.
it's on your end,
It's
right?
true.
It's
It's
hitting you.
true.
Yes, so that's
It's
where I mean, but especially in relationships, you look at somebody and what they have, and you just instantly dislike that person, whether it's a male or female.
Yeah,
just because they look like they have a life that you want. And sometimes I might look like I have it all together and you might hate me and you don't know behind closed doors the hell I'm going through or what I did to accomplish what I got.
that
Right?
is so true. That is one of the challenges that we face. Sometimes we envy people for the life they have,
Uh-huh.
and if we only know that they want to trade it in.
Yes.
They
Yes.
want to trade it in, but because they can't, they have to come out and pretend and smile and nod for the Joneses. But behind closed
Definitely.
doors, they are dying. And
Hmm.
I know that sometimes women or men hate the other person because they picked the apple that they had their eyes on.
Hmm.
And sometimes you had your eye on the apple, but you never made an effort to pick it. And as soon
Exactly.
as somebody else pick it, you become hateful
Hmm.
about it. And you did plant
Or
it, and you did want, or sometimes you say, they knew that I
uh-huh.
wanted that apple.
Yeah. Or
And
so
go
I
ahead.
am with I'm married and my husband or my boyfriend steps out on me with the girl or the wife steps out with somebody else and you automatically hate that person
Hmm.
instead of dealing with the person who caused you the harm, which
Yep.
is the individual you're with, because you can't go around beating up everybody that your wife or girlfriend or husband or boyfriend
Hmm.
has fooled around with. But we just, I don't know, for most people, they automatically just hate the person more that entered the relationship than the actual person that did the harm to them. Right?
And it somehow it's just human that instead of
Yes.
hating the person who opened the door, we hate
Hmm.
the person who walked through it.
Definitely. And it wouldn't happen if he didn't open the door,
If you didn't
right?
open the door, and then you're not in a relationship with the person who walked through, they have no responsibility to you, they have
Exactly.
no need to be loyal to you. The person
Definitely.
who opened the door is the one who should be loyal to you.
And they might not even know what's behind the open door. You
That
know what
is
I mean?
it, because
Yeah,
people lie.
definitely.
People lie.
100%. Right? So,
And men and women will spin a story when they want to get what they want,
exactly. Exactly.
and they will tell a lie and they will spin the wrong story, and then now you they walk through that door not even know what you're walking into.
Exact. And you
And
can
by
lose your life.
and you
You
could
can
lose your
lose your,
life,
yes,
and you could
definitely.
walk into danger. And then when you find out and you decide to walk away, but the
Hmm.
other person still don't know the rest of the story, and they say you
Exactly.
come, you see, you use, and then you're gone.
Hmm.
And they don't understand that you didn't even know what you were walking into until you walked into it. So hating that girl, hating that guy is really not, it's self-destructive.
Definitely.
It is
Definitely.
self-destructive. Right. So I will let you wrap that up one up, and then we're going to go to one more. And
Okay.
that might be our final one. And we're going to go to support your sisters.
Okay. So let me just touch a little bit on that. And I'm in no way endorsing cheating,
Nope.
right? But men don't seem to realize that there's women out there that don't want to be in a relationship. They just want to have fun.
Yep.
So if you leave that ring on your finger and that female or that male sees it, they know exactly what they're getting themselves into.
Hmm.
So there's no lies, it's honesty. And you're giving that person the opportunity to say, yes,
To
I
choose.
know you're involved with somebody, but I'm okay because I'm not looking for anything with that. And like I said, I'm not endorsing it and I'm not saying that is how that's the right way to go about it, but this is life we're talking about. We're talking about reality.
I always say tell the truth up front and
Mhm.
give the person the choice to choose.
Exactly. There's a saying that says, hurt me with the lie, then to make me happy. No, hurt me with the truth, then to make
Truth
me happy with the
to
lie.
the lie. Right.
And that's the standards that I want. I want to be able to choose that if you are in a relationship, I know about it and I can make the decision.
Based
And
on the
then even if I
situation.
do go with you, I know the limits, how far I can go.
Yes, I know how to
Right?
guard my heart.
And then you're saving the other person too as well because
Mhm.
everybody's on board and they know because you know the partner you're with is always the last one to know,
Oh
right?
yes, and I always say the last woman that you are with who knows
Yes,
the truth about you is the most powerful woman,
yes,
because
exactly.
she knows the 99 that is before her. She's
Yes.
comfortable with her number 100 space because she know
Mhm.
99 is before her, and she's just there for her position at that moment and at that time. Same thing for men. If
Mhm.
you they know the truth, it saves you and it saves them as well.
Heartache,
But
headaches,
healing
disability.
moment is not endorsing cheating. Right?
Exactly. No
Everybody
one
has
does.
that on the table.
No one does. But it's reality, and we're just
Yes.
dealing with what reality is,
Right.
and that's what it is. If you find your from that cloth, just you know what I mean. Protect who you're with. Protect yourself. That's the only advice I think that you should live by when you're out there doing what you're not supposed to be doing. Right?
Yes. And so support your sisters is going to be our final topic.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
So men, so even when you have a boyfriend or a husband, it's a separate and different relationship than the one that you have with a close knit girlfriend. The support that a close knit girlfriend gives you, a man can't give that to you. It's just a special bond that you have with your female. So say something goes wrong in your relationship, you run to that person. That person's always there to support you, to lift you up when you're feeling down. So that's one aspect of it. Um, like you said before, where men look down on women and think that they should be above and women should be below.
Yes.
So I always, always, always women support. No matter what, it doesn't have to be financial, it could be emotional, it could be mental, it could be any kind of support. You should always, because you don't know what women are going through in their day-to-day life. So any help that you can give to them, I'm 100% supportive of that.
Amen.
I
It is
encourage
important.
that.
It is important that we support each other, sisters. It's important that we walk together, hold hands together, and
Definitely.
help each other to rise together. There's no need
Definitely.
for us to compete against
Not at
each
all.
other.
Mhm.
And I just got a message to say one gentleman is saying, I don't care what else you all have talked about. I'm going to make sure I know how to use my dick. And so he's going to make sure he know how to use what he has. And that's what Healing Moments is about. Helping you
Definitely.
and enlightening you in becoming a better version of yourself at all times,
Yes.
because we want you to become your best self. We want you to heal, we want you to be whole, and we want you to have a good life. Michelle,
Definitely.
it was really awesome sitting down with you this evening, having this conversation. So before we close, I want you to read that orgasmic organic love, that page you have there. That's what we're going to close on.
On the
So
poetry, the poem that I
yeah,
wrote.
that poem. Yeah, that
Oh,
poem.
okay. Orgasmic organic love. What is orgasmic organic love? Where can I find orgasmic organic love? Who qualifies to be my orgasmic organic love? I've searched over hills, mountains, and valleys. I've searched rivers, oceans, seas, and lakes. I've searched so hard that my body, soul, and heart aches. Someone help me find this orgasmic organic love. Please introduce me to this orgasmic organic love. I need to find this orgasmic organic love. Does it exist, or is it a figment of my imagination? Is it easy to get, or do I have to pass an examination? Lord, help me, please. I'm filled with frustration. Is he, she the one? I need your validation. Time passes by and I grow older. Without orgasmic organic love, my life gets colder. Have to hold on, have to knock that monkey off my shoulder. With each passing moment, my search gets bolder. I have finally found it, this orgasmic organic love. I thank you, Lord, for this blessing from above. Had orgasmic organic love in me all along and never knew it. Now my life is complete. My love for self will never take a back seat, and self love is stronger than concrete.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
Michelle, thank you for sitting down with us this evening. It has been an awesome evening. My producer is still laughing at some of the messages that we have received. I know I'm gonna have a good laugh tomorrow when I spend time to go through all of these statements and to see what we do with them. And persons are suggesting topics that I need to come back with and talk more about. And so it was good having you with us this evening. I thank you for your time and your presence. So Michelle, walk good. Love you, and we will talk.
It was my pleasure as well being here and listening to all the questions that they had to ask. And I'm more than happy to come back as many times as you want to get these questions answered for them. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much
Amen.
for having me on Healing Moment.
Blessed.
ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. Yeah, loving you. Well, well, well. Day will make a way.
As we come to our inspirational moment this evening, I want to say to you, you have to set the standard for how you want to be valued as an individual. When you know what you bring to the table, you don't have to be afraid to eat alone. You don't find your worth in a man or woman. You find your worth within yourself and then find a man or woman who's worthy of you. Here is a listing of the things that will not make a man or woman act right: great sex, buying him or her things, being a good man or woman, supporting his or her dreams, arguing with him or her. Here is a list of things that will make him act or her act right when he or she decides that he or she wants to act right. Thank you for being with me this evening on Healing Moments. Stay blessed, walk good, and we have another awesome program lined up for you next week. I'm your host, Dr. Asha Mwendo. Bye bye from Healing Moments on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
Thank you for listening to Healing Moments right here on Fit FM 96.7. Join us next Wednesday at 6 o'clock for another program in the series. This is Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. Good evening.
This is Fit FM 96.7. Duncan's Jolone.